right, what's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to replace the door lock actuator on a P2 Volvo. So that would be the S60s and the V70s. I think there's another like SUV version, I forget, I think XC70 or something that has the same type of chassis code. With my videos now, this will be kind of the second half, more detailed explanation of how a tutorial is supposed to go. If you made it this far and you're able to do something like this and you want to, you pretty much already know how to do the basics, like take off the door panel and all that stuff there. But most tutorials do not go in depth enough as far as how to, you know, finish the project after the little main stuff. So right now I have the panel off already, and I got to a point where you take off this little silver cover here, right? You know, you make sure you kind of keep this little glue on or something like that. And then you take off this plug from the actuator itself right there. And then what you want to do is have the window completely up so you have enough room to take off the guide here, right? So this window, I'm not going to get back in perfectly, but this window guide here will be all the way up behind this little rubber trim piece. What you want to do is drill out the rivet that's right here. Start off with something small, then progressively get bigger. You may have to get some locking pliers or something like that. I use these eventually to just be able to hold onto the rivet as it starts to spin. And so once that's out, what you want to do is go in here. And again, this is one of the parts that nobody tells you, is that there are, let's see, this little piece here that'll be clipped into that bracket right there that you just want to pull towards you, toward the front of the car. It'll be super easy. Just pop that out and leave it hanging on there. Or if you really want to take it out, just make sure you don't lose it. Make sure it goes right back in that slot here. Again, this is the whole door panel. Check off that cover. Make sure the window's rolled all the way up. And you want to go in here and just rock that forward, pop it out of this right here. And just, leave it to the side. And then you should be able to easily slide out the window guide track, this piece, without bending it or marring it, messing it up in any way. And then eventually, once you put a new rivet in there, you want to make sure you drill this out completely in some way so that you can safely put another one in there. So good to go there. And then you come over here to the outside and take out these 3 T30s. Now, a lot of guides will tell you to take out those T30s first, but no, wait until you take out all those other pieces I mentioned before you take out the T30s, because that'll make it a lot easier. And then again, make sure your window is up. There are some tutorials that take you to where you have to take the whole window out. It's not necessary for this part, but just depending on your trim, your model, whatever car you have, and the variations, you know, if you can't find the exact tutorial, hopefully this one helps you. So you don't have to take out the window fully. Just make sure that you take out all the pieces I said before, and then you can move on. Like I was saying, all you want to do next is buzz out all 3 of those T30s. Just make sure you have one of these, as well as one of these magnetic trays. I have a few of them. That's just my smallest one right now, to keep your bolts all organized and stuff, and then that way you won't lose them. But after that, what you want to do is just slowly but surely, well, I guess I should have mentioned this before. This is the actual little thing that goes up. All this does is you just press right there and it'll pop out of this little metal piece here. And that's how you remove that, so it can be a lot easier to take it out of the car. So on this one here, I already took it out, obviously. And so then you can rock all of these forward and then safely be able to easily get out your door lock actuator, the old one. I do recommend grabbing all of the pieces that you can when you go to a junkyard or whatever, just to make sure you don't miss anything. If you have an extra piece that you don't need, you can just end up throwing that away, selling it, whatever you want to do. Like I said before, out with the old, in with the new. That easily just pops out right there. And then if you kept this as well, you can just pop that out super easily. Throw that down there. And at this point, you'll pretty much just retrace your steps. So what you want to do is wiggle this in here and get it back into the right spot to where those T30s will line up in that spot. So let me do that real quick. All right, so those are back in. So this is solid and in place. And then you want to reach back into here and reattach this. The way I did that was just by kind of twisting it off. It's super hard to get that little piece out of it with that angle that you're given. It's not much room. You're gonna end up breaking something if you try to take out this full little metal piece here. All right, yeah, so far so good. I just attached the little lever thing back for the door handle. That's kind of what you want it to look like, as far as I can tell so far. I did spend probably a good 30 minutes trying to get the exact angle and exact height to where this needs to connect again. So you might have some trouble with that yourself. Just make sure that you just keep messing with it. And again, you kind of want it exactly in the middle from what I can tell. I looked at my other driver's side door, opened that up too, and that's pretty much what it looked like. So yeah, I'll keep y'all updated by the end of this video. I might put some text on the screen whether or not this worked. But yeah, so that's back in. These T30s are back in. And then you want to take this, the rest of this rivet out, like I said before. So I'm going to do that, and then basically align everything back up, put this back down where it's supposed to be. Then I'll end up sliding this in there to where it's supposed to be, put a rivet in it, and then attach the little door lock. I forget what it's called, but the thing that sticks out of the door, and I'll show you how that goes. All right, so that factory rivet was extremely hard to remove. I tried drilling it for a while, and I don't know if I have the wrong drill bits, but it got a little bit out, but I ended up having to use my sledgehammer to kind of knock down the end of the rivet on the side, and then it eventually kind of started to warp and rip out a little bit, so I ended up pulling out with my pliers. But now that this is out, we can reinstall back in there. All right, and then what you want to do is either remove the rubber trim out the way for the window glide, or just slide it back in like I did, and use that as a template to slide it straight up into the door. And kind of, if it doesn't work the first time, just put your hand in there and kind of feel where it's supposed to slide into, but it'll basically find itself if you just do it the way I did it and slide it with the rubber guide here. So it'll go back in, and then how you know it's right is it'll line right back up where you're supposed to put the rivet in. Side note, if yours ended up being a little bent too small to where after you had to use your sledgehammer, it's a little small, just grab your drill and keep going up sizes until it moves it out slightly, and then you find a grommet, not a grommet, a rivet that fits the hole. But yeah, I ended up sledgehammering mine, and I need to just widen this a tiny bit more, so no big deal. You might not even have to do this. All right, so the rivet is in. All you need is just a cheap little kit from, Walmart, whatever, it works. I'm seeing people do where they had plastic rivets, and they still work just as fine. Simple little job here. So all you want to do is just double check that everything is back where it needs to be. Not plug in really, but attach things where they were before.
actually plug in the connector for the motor, for the actuator, and then just double check everything is fine here for you. Make sure you didn't drop any tools down in there, and then just reverse the steps that you took to take everything off. You want to get the door, attach all 3 of these connectors as well as the one for the door handle, and then connect this cover back, and you should be good to go. And we'll see if it worked. Okay, so now that we have everything buttoned back up, let's see if what I did worked. So I'm gonna go ahead and test the window and make sure that track was right, put back on right. So we are good to go with that. And then the locks. So before, like I said, it did not work with the rest of the power locks like it's supposed to, but we swapped the actuator, got that from that junkyard, and let's see. Yes, sir. We are back in business, man. So, as far as I can tell, all of the mods that I've done, not mods, repairs that I've done so far have worked. I'm gonna work on the fog lights. I won't make a video about that unless y'all want me to. You know, we'll see about that. But yeah, man, another successful day, another successful install. And again, this is how you replace the door lock actuator on a 2009. I forget the exact years that is for, but a P2 Volvo, that's S60s and V70s. So yeah, man, appreciate y'all for tuning into this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.